Good afternoon, everyone. We would like to begin, first of all, by introducing ourselves and telling us who we are and where we're from. My name is Dave Hunter, and I am from Human Services Center.
I am Maria Salandian. I'm from Philhaven.
Terry Gilbert from Chartiers.
Kelly Durr from UCP Central PA.
Laurel Voss, Adams Hanover Counseling Services.
Kathleen Rarico from Chestnut Ridge Counseling Services.
As our team discussed the many issues and challenges facing community behavioral health care in our day, we narrowed our discussion down to one issue that has already essentially been discussed, but we have a different take on it, and that issue is staff morale. As we discussed the issue of staff morale, we came up with a program called Creating a Staff-Friendly Culture. And we have decided to, using that as a theme, to create 3 different initiatives designed to improve staff morale. One is, well, we're going to let you take the first one.
One of the things we came up with was creating a relaxation room for staff. Where I work, our staff morale really went down after we lost our staff lounge, and that has been one of the requests that staff have been asking to bring that back. And 2 ways that I thought for my facility is to either apply for a grant for this, or us, the 3 managers that run the inpatient unit, sit down with our CFO and discuss ways where we can cut costs somewhere else so that we can come up with this relaxation room. A couple of things that we thought the relaxation room would include, that's the next slide. Let me go back, I'm sorry. Research does show that by providing somewhere for our staff to get away and to be able to just, take a couple deep breaths and relax and from their workday, research does show that it does increase productivity. It also improves attitudes. And improves attendance and also increased staff cooperation. And again, we talked about the 2 different ways. I talked about the 2 different ways that I would bring that, talk about how we would pay for this. We do have a limited financial commitment. And then we also talked about collaboration with a local business school, to have like maybe a school that does masseuse training and see if they would be willing to come in and provide 5-10 minute massage in the relaxation room for our staff. We would also create a policy, and the policy would specify how often or how long a staff member could stay in there. Would it be a 30-minute time limit? Would it be a 20-minute time limit? And again, we would sit down and go over that policy or come up with a policy specific to provide specifics. And measured outcomes. We would look at, is it improving attendance? If we're having issues with people coming to work, by creating this room, we'll look at, is it improving attendance? We look at productivity reports, and also we would do a staff satisfaction survey. Okay, and then we'll go on to the next.
In 1999, I left the Navy to join the civilian world, and one of the first pieces of advice I got was, Terry, you don't want them to know your staff's name. If they know your staff's name, you're doing something wrong. And so for years, I bought into that, and unfortunately, they knew my staff's name. It was not pleasant. And I spent a lot of time, I noticed, dealing with the F employee, and the A employee kind of got lost in the shuffle. I would always hear, I only hear from you when I'm doing something wrong, when you think I'm doing something wrong, or when your boss thinks I'm doing something wrong. How come you never recognize the positives? And after a while, I started to think, well, okay, maybe I'll just say thank you. And that'll humor them, and I can get back to dealing with that F employee again. Well, thank you was nice, but it wasn't recognition. It was more or less just humoring them and moving on. And they could see that I didn't feel good about that, so we needed to come up with a change. So one of the things that we did was we looked at ways to recognize the A employee, deal with the F employee, but recognize the employee who's actually doing something well for your company, producing for your company. Because one of the things you want to do is Getting rid of the bad employee is not the hard part. Keeping the good employee that's the hard part. So Kelly's gonna give us a little more information on how we can go about keeping that good employee.
Okay, some of the things we talked about was to post the productivity reports, just so people can be recognized by their peers on how good of a job that they are actually doing, as well as presenting or providing training opportunities for our staff, not just supervisors, but other staff to continue their education, feel like they're being supported, feel like we're investing in them for their future with our agency, as well as a recognition program. Lots of things in the recognition program that aren't necessarily monetarily based. It could be a parking space, it can be extra time in our relaxation room that we're creating. Of course, recognition in the newsletter, and a recognition board, which was similar to some other ideas that people had. I guess all great minds are thinking alike here today. But recognition board is just kind of a dry erase board. We also kind of based our idea on approximately a 40 to 50 staff program, kind of a nursing-based program. Recognition board would be a dry erase board in the hall, somewhere prominent people can see, where you can write notes, messages about your fellow employees. Hey, thanks for helping me with this today, or so-and-so did this, that was a great idea, or even giving yourselves a pat on the back. I'll borrow that from someone else who borrowed it from me. So you can even, give yourself a little accolade there and put on something that you might have thought of or done to show what you did to go over and above your position that day.
The last part of our initiative is we want each employee to have a fabulous supervisor. Research has shown that this is one of the main factors in why people stay with a particular company. It's not so much money or benefits, it's having a supervisor that they really like. One of the things we want to do is use some money that's already in the training budget to send them to the PCPA Middle Management Academy. We want to attempt to recruit fabulous supervisors, and a lot of that's word of mouth and referrals. We want to train supervisors to be able to provide very specific feedback, appropriate feedback, create an atmosphere of trust. Those are things that take time, and we have some measures in place to evaluate employee satisfaction with their supervisors.
And I guess I get to say thank you very much.